Hello and welcome to this tutorial for users of Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 for the Mac. In this tutorial we're going to look at editing slides in PowerPoint and also using the outline view to create PowerPoint content. And here you can see the presentation that I started in tutorial number 2. You can see on the left there we have 3 slides already, and if I bring my notepad plan into view there, my notes on the slideshow, and scroll down, you'll see I need to add slide 4 and slide number 5. So first of all we'll prepare slide number 4, and if I come first of all to slide number 3, what I'm going to do is make some changes here and then duplicate this slide and use that as the basis for the 4th slide, and you'll see what I mean when I make the changes. So first of all I'm going to click into the box where my title section is at the top there and click on the center button to center the text. I'm also going to select the top line there, Screening Venue 1, and I want to reduce this font size, and if I click on the drop down arrow for font size I will change that to 24. And next I want to move the line Capacity 150 to be the final item in the list in the second text box. So here I'm going to click and drag across that line to select, and I'll go to the left hand side of the Home tab where the clipboard section is, and here click on the Cut button and then go to the final line in my second text box and click there. Just press the Enter key, and then if I come again to that clipboard section, click on the Paste button. That will move that line to the end of the list. I'm then going to come back to my first text box and just click at the end of the word theatre and press the Delete key to tidy up that text box, and you can see by deleting the 3rd line completely the text has reformatted. And in fact if I click on Screening Venue 1, you'll remember I set that to 24 points and it's reformatted to 27 points. So PowerPoint can automatically reformat text depending on the content within the text box. So here what I'm going to do is select that line again and reset to 24 points. Just click on the drop down there, choose 24, and I'm going to click and drag across my Ritz Cinema Theatre line, and I'll increase that from 44 to 48. I'll also apply bold formatting, and if I again click in the text box below, just click on the edge to select everything within that text box, and I might increase the font size here a little bit, and in fact I'm just going to use the up arrow there, the increase font button, and we'll see the font increase as I click like so. I might just bring it down a little bit there to 32 points. That will do, and finally just click away to see the result. And I'd like my 4th slide to have the same type of formatting applied, and rather than create a new slide, add the content and then apply formatting, I'm going to duplicate this slide first of all and then overwrite the existing content with the new text. To make a duplicate of an existing slide, you simply come to the New Slide button on the Home tab, click on the drop down arrow there, and down at the bottom of the options you will see Duplicate Slide, and if I click on that you will see slide number 4 is added. So if I bring my notes again into view and take a look at the actual content for slide 4, some of the things here I can simply modify by editing, other things I will need to replace completely. So for example, screening venue instead of 1 is 2. What I'll do first of all, just move those notes out the way, and I'll come back to my first text box. Remember I must be on slide number 4, not 3, because it's slide 4 that I'm modifying. So click at the end there and just delete 1 and type 2. I'll come to my notes now and select the cinema name, the central, and here I will right click and choose copy. Come back to the presentation and I want to click and drag here to select the existing content, right mouse click and choose paste. That will paste in the title and adopt the existing formatting, as you can see. Again, come back to my notes, and next I want to select the list for this particular cinema, so click on the first line or the beginning of the first line, click and drag down to the end of the final line, right mouse click on the selection, click copy on the shortcut menu, come back to the slideshow, and I'm going to select the text for the first 4 items in the list there. I'll leave capacity for now, just click and drag across there and right click and choose paste. One small problem there is that the final 2 lines have become merged, and I can fix that just by pressing the back delete here. You can see where the cursor is flashing away. Press the Enter key and that'll move that text back to its own line. And if I then refer back to my notes, I can see the capacity of this venue is 125. So again, come back to the slideshow, just click at the end of that value, back delete key again, and just type 125. And finally, click away just to see the results of the formatting and text entry. So there I've created a new slide based on the formatting from the previous slide using slide duplication. And if I click back onto slide 3 and then to slide 4, you'll see there is consistency between the two slides. I'll go ahead and add the 5th slide now, and to do that I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to come to the View tab, and on the left hand side in the Presentation Views I'm going to click on Outline View. Now Outline View basically shows in the left window, instead of a thumbnail of the slide, it shows the text content. And in the Outline View section you can add or delete text on existing slides, and you can also add new slides. First of all, I'm going to come back to my notes again, my slide notes, and select all the text for my 5th slide, which is the title, the movies, and the list of movies there you can see. Again, if I select, right click, choose copy. This time I'm going to come back to the final line on the outline view, and here I'm going to hold down the Control key and press the Enter key. And Control and Enter creates a new slide in outline view. I'm then going to paste the content from my notes by using the keyboard shortcut Command and V. I'll just point out that if you're used to copying and pasting using the Control key shortcut, so Control C for copy, Control V for paste, in PowerPoint it's Command, so Command C, Command V for copy and paste. Or of course use the buttons on the Home tab. Now you'll notice that the formatting is pretty terrible at the moment, so everything has gone into my title box at the top and nothing into my list box or the content box below. So I need to fix that. I'm going to use the arrow keys on the keyboard. First of all, move to the first line and come to the end of the word movies, and if I press the Enter key first of all, and there just by pressing the Enter key you'll notice that the outline view has created a new slide. And the difference is that if you're creating a new slide in outline view from a content list, you press Control and Enter, whereas if you're creating a new slide from a title level piece of text, you only need to press the Enter key. Now of course I don't want my list of movies on slide number 6, and I can fix that by very simply pressing the Tab key on the keyboard, and that moves the contents to a list level instead of a new slide level. I can also type Shift and Tab to reverse that. So you can experiment with pressing Tab and Shift Tab, and you can move content from a list level to a new slide level using those keyboard shortcuts. So let's come to the end of the movie North by Northwest and the year 1959. Come to the end, and now if I press the Enter key I won't create a new slide, I will simply create a new item in the list, and I can repeat that for the rest of the film. So come to the end of the Casablanca line, press the Enter key, same with Gone with the Wind, press the Enter key again, same with Vertigo, press Enter, and finally come to the end of Some Like It Hot, press the Enter key, and you'll see that as I updated the content in outline view, it also updates on the slide itself in the main slide window. If for some reason I wanted to split my list of movies to 2 slides, so I might have 3 movies on one slide, 3 movies on another slide, all I would need to do is come to the point where I want the split to occur. So here I'm going to have the cursor flashing away at the beginning of Vertigo, type in a title for my new slide, which might be called The Movies 2, and just press the Enter key to move the movie Vertigo to the new line. Come back to the beginning of that line, The Movies 2, and type Shift and Tab, and that will create a new slide with the title The Movies 2 and those 3 films listed below, as you can see. So you can see a few of the things you can do with outline view there. It is a very useful thing if you're just entering lots of text. It's actually easier to use this than it is to create the slides and click in the text boxes. However, I'm going to reverse these changes and put these movies back onto slide number 5. I could use the undo button at the top of the window there, but here I'm going to use the keyboard and press the Tab key first of all at the beginning of the movies line, and then simply click and drag to select that line, press delete on the keyboard, And there we have slide number 5 back as it was. For now I'm going to return the slideshow back to normal view, but it's worth knowing that in addition to these two views here, we have slide sorter view, and if I click on that you'll see a different preview of the slideshow. This is something we'll come back to in a future tutorial. And you also have the notes page view, and here you can add notes to each slide to remind you to talk about things that are featured on the slide. Again, that's something we'll come back and look at later on in another tutorial. Down at the bottom right of the PowerPoint window you also have view buttons here. So we have the normal button, so I can switch back to normal view there. You also have the slide sorter button, and you also have a slideshow button, and if I click on that, whichever slide is selected will instantly switch to the presentation view. So the slideshow is now running in its full screen, and to come out of that I simply press the escape key on the keyboard, and that will go back to the PowerPoint editing mode. Also at the bottom right you have the zoom options, and if I go back to the normal view first of all, and if I just drag that zoom slider right and left, you can see how that works. And as with other programs, you can also click on the zoom value here, so 134% presently. If I click on that, I get a dialog box and I can select any of these options. Fit, for example, if I click OK, will fit the slide precisely to the window size. Alternatively, I might prefer to have everything at 100%. Click OK, which is where I'm going to leave it just for now. And one final thing I'll do here is run my spell checker for the show. And if I just come back to slide number 1, come to the review tab, and over on the left you'll see in the proofing section we have a spelling button, and if I click on that, what will happen is that PowerPoint will go through the show and identify any errors, and on the right side you'll see a new window has opened up, the spelling window, and here it will identify the error. And first it's identified a misspelling of the word delighted, and you can see here it's offering the correct spelling as the first option in the list below. So you simply select the correct spelling and click change. For the next one there's only one suggestion, which is correct. Again, make sure it's selected, click change. For the next word screening is the correct spelling, change again. And the next word is an example where it's spelt correctly for me, but in other countries it might be misspelt. So if the dictionary that PowerPoint is using is in this case American, it will identify meter, which is the UK and European spelling, as a misspelling of the word. So here I'll leave that and choose ignore all. So I can now click OK, the spelling check is complete, and finally close that spelling dialog window. And one last thing of course is to make sure that you save your updated show, so click on save. And that completes this tutorial. I hope you found some things in there that are useful and you can apply to the presentations that you're working on. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.